Sometimes in the heck of the moment we say certain things to people and we get caught. One such moment was with Vasudha and her family. Vasudha is from Bengaluru. She has written to me, "So happy to see short videos and messages you are sharing on Facebook. You had long time ago mentioned you had so much to share about Lord Rudra. We have all been waiting to hear about him from you, Guruji. Request you to please, if you can, would be our bhagya." Sometimes we give some, in the heck of the moment, we promise certain things. Long back I told her when she visited me along with her family in one of our friends' house. Okay, let us have a short video on Rudra. Rudra is a very vast subject. It's a very vast subject. I can keep talking to you for days together, years together. Still, I would not have covered probably even a small portion of it. That's the wonder of that avatar. The Lord Superior, the Lord Supreme. Shiva. Sometimes we call Shiva as Jambu. Sthanu is one of the names. Sthano, some people say Sthano. So Shiva in that form is very inactive. Rather, he is very docile. Probably like Dakshinamurti, the avatar of Shiva. Very calm, very meditative, very auspicious. And he is very difficult to be approached. Always the devatas which are very calm and patient are very difficult to be approached. The reason is that their calmness, their docile nature brings an inherent quality in them to rather delay things like. Because human beings, we want very quick result. Very quick. Everything we want it immediately to be done. When I say to somebody, please recite Vishnu Sahasranamam, then he asks me, how many days? That is the mentality. The mentality is not to regularly perform it. We want a result out of it. We want a time frame. Within the time frame, things should take place. Because after all, life is within a time frame, and so every human wants everything to be achieved within the time frame. So he asks, then I have to tell him that it is not like taking an antibiotic thrice a day for 1 week. Do it as long as you can do. That's my reply. Similarly, Shiva is such a wonderful concept as Jambu. He is very auspicious. and he is very docile, he is static, he is very meditative, and he belongs to something beyond human needs. From Shiva came a form, Rudra. Shiva was going on meditating, and he was always in a meditative stage. The gods, demigods were fighting the demons. Many times they were failing in the war. In fact, many times they occupied Amaravati and sent out Indra. Indra lost his role as the leader among the Devatas. All these things were happening. Demons were troubling the saints. Saints were not allowed to pray. There was total destruction. Anything that was constructed was being destructed. So what to do? Ultimately, out of Shiva came a form, Rudra. Absolutely fearful, very angry, initially when Rudra came, he came with a bow and an arrow. In Rudram we pray to him, we say, in your anger, please do not use your bow and arrow against us. Please use it, if you want, against the negative elements. Please use it against them. Hey Rudra. So Rudra came purely for destructing the negative elements, the demons, and to give succor to the good ones, the noble ones, the hermits, the saints, the sages, the humans, other forms of life across the cosmos. So Rudra was ruthless. That is why he is called Rudra. Rudra means anger. Anger of immeasurable proportions. It cannot be measured. His anger is to that extent. Everybody prostrated that anger. The other side of Shiva was Rudra. To the extent Shiva was meditative and auspicious, and to the extent he was calm and quiet, Rudra was opposite of that. Extremely Gora, but that was Agora. That was a beauty on its own. Everybody has a quality of anger. After all, we have come from the nature, and nature has blessed whatever it had with it to you also. You cannot be better than the nature. You cannot prove yourself better than the nature. A hermit was performing a homam. After the homam was over, he asked the disciple, after about an hour or so, has the fire calmed down? Please see whether the fire is not there, so that we can take the Udi. The disciple saw that and said, still there is fire. After about another 1 hour, the hermit asked whether the fire is extinguished. Just check. The disciple saw and said, there is still fire. After some more time, once again the hermit asked whether the fire still exists. Just see. The disciple saw and said, still the fire exists. After some more time, the hermit lost his cool. He said, is the fire extinguished or not? Come on, let me know. The disciple smiled and said, pointing at the hermit, the fire still exists. So everybody has an element of fire. That is Rudra. Of course, you cannot compare yourself to the Lord. That is why we salute, we prostrate the anger of Rudra. We prostrate the anger. We request him not to direct that anger towards us. If at all that anger has to be directed, let it be directed against the inauspicious, let it be directed against the demons, let it be directed against the evil, let it be directed against those who trouble the entire existence. That is the concept of Rudra. So Rudra came out of Shiva, and out of Rudra came out of many Rudras. We call Ekadasha Rudra. 11 Rudras, it seems, they came out of Rudras. Every Rudra had a particular purpose and a particular form. Some say that some of the scriptures, like Mahabharata, they say that Ekadasha Rudra came out of the blessings given by Lord Shiva, Lord as Rudra, to the Surabhi, a celestial cow. They were born to the celestial cow on account of the blessings of Lord Rudra. So there are Mrigavada, Sarpa, Niriti, Ajay Kapat, Ahiradna, Pinaki, Dahana, Ishvara, Kapali, Sthanu, Bharga. There are different types. Every type has got a particular significance of Rudra. They all came purely for destruction, nothing else. When Pralayam happens, when Mahapralayam happens, when everything gets wounded up, apocalypse, everything gets wounded up. It is Rudra who does that. It is Rudra who folds. The entire creation came from the Lord, and the Lord has to destruct it so that you can reconstruct it. I won't call it as destruction, I will call it as resurrection. For everything to be resurrected, for everything to come back into existence, when everything goes out of control, so everything has to be wound up. So that is called as Pralaya. That Pralaya happens because of Rudra. Rudra brings in the concept of Pralaya. This Pralaya, when it happens, Rudra comes with all the other Rudras to perform the pralaya. Mrigavada. Mrigavada means what? Certain things will look very calm. Externally it will look very calm, but internally it will be boiling. That is Rudra. That belongs to Mrigavada. If you keep in one test tube water and in one test tube sulfuric acid and close it with cork, and if you are asked to say which is water and which is acid, both will look alike. But when you remove the cork of the acid, you can find the fumes. You know that is the acid. Whereas you will not get anything from water. Mrigavada is like that. That Rudra will look as though it is very calm. But it is not calm. It has to do the aspect of Vada. It will look as though it is very calm, but it is not like that. In some places, Rudra comes in that form, where he will look as though he is very silent, but actually he is very, very fearful. He may look mild, but actually he is wild. That is Mrigavada. The other thing is, next thing is Sarpa. In some places, Rudra has to perform the aspect of destruction by adopting the nature of a Sarpa. It will be sly, like. It can reach the netherworlds, underworlds. It can go to the root and eliminate the root. To eliminate the root, Rudra takes the form of a Sarpa. That he goes in the form of a Sarpa, where it is very sly, very delicate movements, the movements with a lot of cunningness, but precision to strike and hit. Nirti, that is one more form, where Rudra has to be very blunt, has to be straight and blunt. For a demon, there is no other way to eliminate. It has to be straight and blunt. There the Rudra performs an aspect of Niriti. It is very blunt. It is very open. It is very wild. It is fearful. It exhibits the anger to that extent and performs. The anger gets converted into energy and performs a direct act. Some people will have anger, but they cannot do anything. In humans you can find, they will have anger, but they cannot show it, they cannot perform. But Rudra is not like that. There is another form, Ajay Kapat. In Ajay Kapat, what happens is, it has to strike with intensity. Sometimes the anger will not have intensity. The intensity is very important while performing a fearful act. In the role of Ajay Kapat, it will have a lot of intensity. With intensity, it will perform the act of Raudram. Raudram comes from Rudra, the fierce. That is Ajay Kapat. Ahiradna is another one, where it takes different forms. It splits. One splits into many, thousands, millions, billions. One splits into many is Ahiradna. Every aspect. In Mahishasura Mardini, when Mahisha was dropping, one blood drops from Mahisha, another 100 Mahishas will come, 1000 Mahishas will come. There the goddess uses the aspect of Rudra, Ahiradna, where she splits herself into many and goes into everything, and she sees that it doesn't fall. She takes it in her tongue. There she projects the tongue, Mahabhadrakali, and she takes it into herself. That is an aspect of Ahiradna. That's an aspect of Rudra. In Ahiradna, it happens. Pinaki, it's a special bow. That bow, the arrow and the bow combination of Pinaki, with one it can destruct many. It can destruct many. Tripura Antagaya. Namaste astu Bhagavan Vishveshwaraya Mahadevaya Triyambakaya Tripurantakaya. The three worlds have to merge, and they are swirling in different combinations, and the three worlds have to merge, and it merges for a very, very few billionth of a second, then there is a possibility for the arrow or the bow and the arrow combination. The arrow can pierce in the center and the Tripura can be burst into pieces. That fellow had a boon that way. So how was it possible? It was because of Pinaki. So, with that anger, Rudra uses the Pinaki. That bow is not just enough if the instrument is there. What is very important is the determination and conviction behind a particular thing to destruct. Rudra should bring in that kind of a determination and conviction to destruct it. Otherwise, the city of Tripura cannot be demolished. The demons cannot be vanquished. So the conviction comes from the anger of Rudra. I have to see that they are eliminated at any point of time. At this point of time, they have to be eliminated. The time has come for them to be destructed. Enough of the nonsense of destruction, what they are doing to the entire cosmos. The time has come now for me to destruct that kind of an anger. That anger with conviction, not just anger, but anger with conviction makes the weapon to be used in the correct, proper way. There is a lot of balance of mind. For humans, if you have anger, there will be imbalance of mind. But Rudra has a lot of balance of mind. He has already accumulated a lot of balance of mind by being Dakshinamurti, by being Shambhu, by being Sthanu. He is totally balanced. At the same time, that balance comes here for using with anger. And with anger and precision, the power behind the arrow is given by the bow Pinaki. So he is called Pinaki. Dahana. Literally he is fire. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jwalantam Sarvato Mukham. Jwalantam, fire. Nrsimha Mula Mantram, Anushtupa Mantram, Mantra Rajabada Mula Mantram, Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jwalantam Sarvato Mukham. Jwalantam, Jwala, Dahana. Anything that comes into the fire is of that kind that it will simply reduce everything to ashes. That kind of an anger in Dahana. The Rudra here has that kind of an intensity to burn everything into ashes. Burn everything into ashes. Dust to dust, ashes to ashes. Everything is just burnt. He burns the negativity. If you have a lot of negativity, pray to Rudra, it will become positivity. He will burn that negativity inside you. That is Dahana. So he is here called Dahana. Next is Ishvara. What has to be destructed will be destructed. What should not be destructed will not be destructed. That is Ishvara. Ishvara means it knows in the system where the imbalance is there, that imbalance will be corrected through balance. Not everything is destructed. Only what has to be destructed is destructed. That is also a concept of Rudra, and hence he is called Ishvara. Kapali. Kapal. Raktajwala Jadadaram Shashidaram Raktanga Tejomayam Haste Shula Kapala Shula Kapala Pasa Damarum Lokasya Rakshakaram Nirvanam Sunabahanam Trinayanam Ananda Kolahanam Vande Bhuta Vishasha Nada Patikam Shrihi Kshetrasya Balam Shiva Bhairava. Kapal. What is Kapalam? Kapali. He wears the Kapalam. He wears the Kapalam. What is Kapala? The Rudra brings the Kapali, becomes the Kapali, brings the truth into picture. All this is all superficial. Finally, when it is all burnt, you have only the skull and the skeleton. That is the truth. The basic design is made on the skull and the skeleton. That is what is the basic design. That is what is the basic structure. That is the truth. That is ultimately the truth. There is no necessity to fear the Kapala. It is the truth. Rudra is in the form of truth. When it comes to Kapali, he wears that. He has it. When somebody wears a Kapala Mala, he is called a Kapali. He is called a Kapali. Why he is called a Kapali? Because he is an embodiment of truth. Rudra is an embodiment of truth. He wears a Kapalam. He is Sakshat. In that Ugram, you can see the truth. In that anger, it is purely the truth that surfaces. The anger is to demolish whatever is falsified. That is demolished. Totally. Hence he is called Kapali. Hence the name Kapali for Rudra. Kapali. He is also called Sthanu. All these things Rudra does. The fiercefulness, the anger, everything is basically from that structure of Sthanu. That structure of Jambu, Jambukeshwara. In that structure of Shiva, it's all very auspicious. From the auspiciousness comes the anger. There is nothing inauspicious about the anger of Rudra. That is the form. It looks very calm. Sometimes it will look very quiet, but still the destruction will take place. That is Sthanu. There is no external exhibition of anger, or there is no external exhibition of that courage. But it looks very calm, but still the destruction will take place. That is one type of Rudra. That is one more type of Rudra. Varga. Whichever has to be used as weapon will be used as weapon when needed. It has got, Rudra has got the power to use anything and everything. He is the biggest Prayogi. A Prayogi uses anything and everything for the welfare of society. Rudra is the biggest Prayogi, or the first Prayogi. He can use anything and everything available at large. He can use anything and everything. And he uses this to use these things in the auspicious aspect of destruction, of negativity. That's one form. Like this, Ekadasi Rudra, there are 11 Rudras. One Rudra only performing all the functions. Matsya Purana gives one set. Vishnu Purana gives one set. Everywhere Rudra excels in different ways. Ultimately, everything has to be wound up. When we live life, finally one day comes, we have to go. When we have to go, it is over. There is no life. Ours is destructed. It's not destruction, it is reconstruction. Once again, things have to come back into the system. So that resurrection part. So Rudra mainly helps to remove whatever has decayed. That is also his fault. Whatever has decayed, you cannot keep a dead body at home for hours together. You have to either bury it or burn it. It's not healthy also for others. Ultimately we do that. Antyeshti karma. Don't we do it? There also the Rudra comes. So in anything and everything, there must be a finality. That finality is given by Rudra. Even it happens in your office also. Yeah, there is a finality. You cannot sit always in the office. Finally, there is a retirement. It's over. That's all. After that, you come back. It's all over. You can't go back to office. Sir, I was working in the office till yesterday. Today can I work? No, you cannot work. You are already retired. You have been retired. You have to go back. Retirement has been given. It is over. Anything that is over, it is getting over. For a new beginning. After retirement, you can have another sort of a life. It's a new beginning after life. You have worked enough. Now you please concentrate on something else which will give you more peace and salvation. That's the concept of Rudra. The very concept of Rudra is that. Like this, Rudra, we can keep on speaking for days together, years together. So many things are there. I just thought I should just give my thought a little bit on Rudra. The same Rudra is only Shiva, the auspicious part is Shiva. The destructive part is Rudra. Yeah, destruction not for anything that is good. It's for destruction is more for everything that is demonish. Anything that is devilish, demonic. That has to be. Finally, when things go out of control, everything becomes a demon. That is where Kali Yuga ends. That is where he has to once again come back as Kali Purusha. He has to. Any avatara will have the concept of Rudra. So, that is only as to complete. Once again to restart the entire process of Genesis. Namaste astu bhagavan Vishveshwaraya Mahadevaya Triyambakaya Tripurantakaya Trikagni Kalaya Kalagni Rudraya Kalagni, that is all Rudra. Kalagni Rudraya Neelakantaya Mrityunjayaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Sriman Mahadevaya Namaha. Very nice. Thank you very much for the opportunity. See you some other day. Thank you.